Welcome to The Fight on Matrix Midwest with Randy Carricker and company.
Hi kids, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us. That's Andrew, I'm Randy. Do you know when the best time to tell folks you stepped out on your significant other is?
Probably not on TV.
Well, we're going to tell you what the best time is not. We're also going to tell you our most exciting pictures for Cardinal spring training, and Greg Amsinger of MLB Network joins us. But we're going to get things started with our quick hits. And you remember when Jordan Walker started with the Cardinals with a 12-game hitting streak. Then he went 3 games without a hit and rebounded to hit in 4 of 5 games and went 5 for 20. And that earned him a demotion to the minors. MLB Network's Harold Reynolds remembers.
When he was a junior in high school, we had the PPD or something, I don't remember what it was called, a prospect camp for Major League Baseball. And we were at IMG Academy. He was a third baseman. He was going to Duke. And he stood out because he was so dang big. Mm-hmm. To me, I think this is the sad tale of not doing what got you there. Get there with what you could do, and now change you. You know, the guy was hitting 275, and they sent him down and said, you're hitting too many grounders. Instead of letting the power come like most people do, and a guy his size, the power is going to come. So I look at this like an organizational flaw. I still fault the Cardinals. I really do. I think they took a prospect and messed him up. So hopefully he now has had a chance in a year or two to gather himself, find out who he is, and go play. Because that spring training, he had 10 home runs. He tore up baseball. We thought he was going to be the greatest thing ever. At age 20, he gets to the big leagues playing well, and they decide to change him.
The new Cardinal regime can bring him back.
I think so too, and here's how you do it. Here's how you fix Jordan Walker. First and foremost, go up and apologize to him. Swallow the pride. It wasn't your fault, the new regime, right? It's not your fault, but go up and apologize for those that are at fault. Psychologically, that can just help a player. 2, you tell him, fail while swinging hard. I don't care if you strike out 200 times. I want you to hit 40 home runs this season, or maybe at least get to 30 home runs. You can find this player's identity because it's buried deep down. You just have to dig it up, find it, let him unleash it.
Yeah, and he hits the ball hard. When he hits the ball, he hits it hard. He needs to be more disciplined, but they need to work with him and allow him to be strong at what he's good at. Don't try to have him practice things that he's not capable of doing. So hopefully they will be able to fix him, and I agree 100% with Harold Reynolds. ESPN announced this week that they, like MLB, are going to deliver out-of-market MLB games on the ESPN app. At least this year. They aren't going to sell in-market games, but might do so in the future. So here in St. Louis, you'll have cable or a dish or buy Cardinals TV, but does ESPN having MLB telecasts muddy the waters a little bit, confuse people maybe?
You know what this gives me, Randy? This gives me
a headache?
Well, yes, but it's we broke up, but we stayed friends energy. Because ESPN was all about, nope, not doing it with MLB. We don't like our old deal. And then all of a sudden, it's come to the table with a new deal, maybe get a little more volume over the prestige. We don't need the home run derby. We don't need Sunday Night Baseball. We just want to become the Netflix of baseball. And I don't even know if anybody can do that because you have to appeal to hardcore fans. And hardcore fans, do they really exist in baseball today, or is it just hardcore fans of a team? That's why I'm not really worried about blackouts. I don't think ESPN should be that worried about blackouts either, because teams today are finding ways to give local products back to the local fans. And you don't have to worry about, hey, a kid from St. Louis wants to watch, well, I guess the Cubs would be blacked out here.
Yeah, by the way, a lot of free Cardinal baseball in 2026 right here on Matrix Midwest. Go to matrixmidwest.com or the Matrix Midwest app and read about what the offerings we're going to provide you with free baseball in 2026. A bill in the Iowa State Senate was introduced Tuesday seeking an expansion of Iowa's economic growth attraction program with the goal of luring an NFL franchise to the state, specifically Andrews Bears. The state's mega program provides economic development incentives designed to attract capital investments. The bill, which was sponsored by 7 Iowa Republican senators, seeks to modify the mega program to include language for building an NFL stadium. Davenport, Iowa is the largest of the Quad Cities and is located about 130 miles west of Chicago. If the Bears listen to Iowa, is it political malpractice for St. Louis to not pursue the Bears?
Yes.
I would say so too.
Join the leverage theater, right? At least get people excited. Iowa's not getting a football team. Look at the rendition I made on ChatGPT
of
what this would look like here in St. Louis. Pretty cool. I'll say this. The Bears are going to stay in Illinois, whether they move to Arlington Heights, whether they get to the location that
Maryland
they want.
Heights.
Yeah, maybe Maryland Heights is on the docket. There is a lot of room out there in Maryland Heights, but in general, they just don't like Soldier Field. They hold all the power. They're not moving to Indiana. They're not moving to Iowa, which that state's biggest metro is still smaller than St. Louis.
Right.
The Bears are just floating these ideas out here so that they can hold the power.
Caleb Williams in St. Louis. I love it. And you know what? Anything we can do to tweak Chicago is great. So why not take advantage of this opportunity? Chicago's talking about moving to Arlington Heights. What's the difference between Arlington Heights and St. Louis? Might as well have them here.
Everybody in Chicago would drop dead if they saw that their team was moving. Plus, there's no way the NFL is moving a team out of the number 3 market in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, they never move a team out of like the number 2 market to go to Oakland or St. Louis.
Right, they never move a team out of even market 21 to go back to a bigger market.
Right, it would never happen. Pretty interesting. So, St. Louis Bears, or do they change the name?
I feel like you have to change the name.
Yeah,
although you could really stick it to Chicago by keeping it the Bears.
True. Hey, Norwegian biathlete Sturla Holm Lagerud won bronze this week in Italy, but he didn't want to celebrate the medal. Instead, he openly admitted cheating on his girlfriend post-race. Check out the subtitles here from the biathlete.
Som kanskje ikke ser på I dag. For et halvt år siden så møtte jeg mitt livs kjærlighet. Verdens vakreste, fineste person. Og for 3 måneder siden så gjorde jeg min største tabbe og var utro mot henne. Og det fortalte jeg for en uke siden. Og det har vært den verste uken I mitt liv. Så jeg hadde gullmedalje I livet. Det sikkert bare mange der nå som ser på meg med andre øyne. Men jeg har kun øyne for henne. Jeg vet ikke hva jeg vil frem til ved å si det her nå, men...
Yeah, so, well, at least he won bronze, because this is really viral if he goes gold, and he might be really upset if he wouldn't have won a medal at all. Now, the ex talked to a Norwegian tabloid and said, it's hard to forgive even after a declaration of love in front of the whole world. She said she wants to remain anonymous, and she added that she didn't want to be put in this position, saying, quote, I did not choose to be put in this position, and it hurts to have to be in it. We have had contact, and he is aware of my opinions on this. I think he's done.
Yeah, this might have been your last-ditched effort, but it's not going to pay off because no girl wants to be proposed to on a Jumbotron. No girl wants to have their love pleaded for them over live TV in the world's biggest event.
So,
this isn't a rom-com.
So this is bad timing, you're telling me?
This is bad timing. It's not a movie. It's not going to start snowing and you're going to kiss in front of the Christmas tree like in a Hallmark movie. That's not what this is. Instead, you are putting yourself out there in the worst way possible where that conversation could have been over text or over the phone, one-to-one. That's how people really work in the real world.
Not before billions of people watching the Olympics, huh?
Nope, not like that. And even a bronze medal still made him go viral.
Speaking of an Olympic athlete scoring, Blues forward Dalibor Dvorsky scored the winning goal in Slovakia's 4-1 win over Finland. He made it 2-1 in the third period. The Dvorsky goal was a big one for him, obviously personally, because it's at a high level. How much can this experience help a young guy like Dvorsky? I have to believe it's huge.
Well, we talked a lot about how Jordan Walker's confidence is low. This only brings up the confidence level of Dalibor Dvorsky, and he's always performed on the big stage. You look at the World Juniors, now you look at in the Olympics, and now he's making the steps in the right strides in the NHL, and it all boils back down to experience, because think about it from the perspective of, I have no experience, I'm applying for a job where you need large amount of experience to hold a strong position. You're not going to hire me. But if you get a guy like Dalibor and put him in the right situation so that he can garner that experience, now he can take those tough minutes and prove that he makes the most of those and takes the necessary strides to become a great player in the NHL.
I love the fact that he's playing against a high level of competition in a high pressure environment. And I think it's good for all of these Blues players. Now, some of them have been there before. Bennington has been there. Obviously, Colton Parayko has been there. But for the young guy like Broberg, I think playing these games in a high-stakes environment against the best competition can only be a good thing. Are they going to be playing in the playoffs to use that experience this year? No, but hopefully down the road, these guys will get the opportunity to use this experience, and it'll benefit them come playoff time.
And Dvorsky's only 20 years old. That's why it's so important right now to get these minutes.
Those are your quick hits here in the fight. And later in the show, we're going to build a parlay, and you can join us in participating in some risky business here on the fight. Coming up, Greg Amsinger of MLB Network will join us here on Matrix Midwest.
Now live with MLB Network host Greg Amsinger. Brought to you by St. Luke's. Experience healthcare the way it should be. Experience St. Luke's.
It's our favorite time of the week. It's our chance to talk with Greg Amsinger, native of St. Louis, product of the Lindenwood University, and of course, the lead anchor for MLB Network. There he is right there, getting ready for a little Lions action. So am I. Go Lions. How you doing, man?
Doing well, guys. Doing well. I'm days away from leaving for Arizona, but I'm ready. I'm starting to think about what I'll pack. So if that's starting to happen in my brain, it's a good time of year.
Yeah. Do you have a rolling golf bag, like your travel bag? Do you have a nice rolling travel golf bag?
Complete hard case.
Perfect.
I've got the stopper so my driver doesn't get messed up by the airlines.
Yep.
Absolutely. I haven't gone as crazy as ship sticks. I feel like that is another level of golf obsession.
It is.
I'll probably get there relatively soon, but at the moment, the airlines have not damaged my sticks.
That's good.
Good to hear. Hey, Greg, we announced here at Matrix Midwest that we're going to have 9 Cardinal spring training games this year. We're going to have 10 to 12 Cardinal big league games. We're going to carry AAA Memphis. We're going to carry AA Springfield. And every day we will have a 1-hour condensed version games. It's called Home Plate. There you see it. We're really excited about it here at Matrix Midwest. People are going to be able to consume the Cardinals over free over-the-air television all season long.
I love all of this. I actually specifically love the minor league baseball games that you guys are going to provide because I do interviews like this, work with other regional sports networks all over the country. Marquee Sports Network in Chicago started doing the most incredible thing. They did live look-ins. They basically did their own version of MLB Tonight with all of their minor league baseball affiliates when they would play at the same time, which I thought was unbelievable content. If you love your favorite team, I want to watch these guys that we talk about all the time because we're so well-versed on prospects and the next face of a franchise. I want to see how they're doing on a day-to-day basis. So the fact that you guys are leaning into, I believe, incredible content for Cardinal fans helps grow the organic fan base that we all have come to love in St. Louis. I think it's great news for Cardinal fans.
Earlier in the show, we aired the Harold Reynolds comment about Jordan Walker, and you've seen it, you've heard it, but I tend to agree, not tend to, I completely agree with Harold Reynolds about the previous Cardinals regime kind of breaking him, and you hope now that he can get fixed.
I agree with him as well. I've had many conversations with Harold Reynolds on the show that we do together, the national pregame show during the regular season. It really fires him up to talk about Jordan Walker. And he brought up how many home runs Jordan Walker hit that spring training when he was breaking camp. I remember being on your radio show, Randy, opening day or maybe last day of spring training, and you go over under 35 home runs for Jordan Walker as a rookie. And I said barely under. Do you remember this conversation?
Yeah, I remember.
That is how highly regarded we looked at Jordan Walker. What we saw early on was that the guy could hit. He belonged in the big leagues. He was hitting balls hard, but he was hitting them on the ground. My comp for him, offensive package-wise, was Matt Holliday. And Matt Holliday had a damn good career. And every time he walks onto the field at Busch Stadium, he gets a standing ovation. Great hitter, great player. It's okay if players aren't exactly the same. And we try to stuff everyone into a cookie cutter box. And I think this is what Harold was talking about, that his natural instincts, how about this? His natural confidence was affected. and he hasn't really regrouped. So I'm hoping, for the sake of Jordan, for the sake of the St. Louis Cardinals, that this ability to give him this long leash to just go play, show us what you can do, don't look over your shoulder, can fix the wrongs that Jordan Walker's had to deal with, and help the optics of the St. Louis Cardinals, as lately they've had a hard time developing their own young players. Hopefully that brand will diminish.
And Greg, I'm okay with people having launch angle and players going with launch angle and doing their own thing. The Cardinals asked him to change the launch angle when there was really nothing wrong with letting him be Jack Clark.
Exactly.
Right?
And look, they believe that if they can make adjustments, right, that the players can become an even better version of themselves. And I go back to this one saying, not that Greg Amsinger's figured everything out, but I do believe in like psychology in sports. It's more important than we give it credit. I would say to my daughter she had a great high school basketball career, Vanessa, remember, I'm coming to watch you play basketball, not coming to watch you think basketball. And that is a very important lesson in all sports, even high stakes Major League Baseball. The guys that just have fun. The Manny Ramirez, I know he cheated. You don't have to call in and say he cheated. I know that. But the instinctual baseball player, we're trying to put a sock on its head. If you don't know what that means, you don't have a cat. But if you put a sock on a cat's head, because their whiskers are their equilibrium, they'll kind of tip over, right? Oh. So that is what you're doing to players who are incredibly instinctual. Don't make them think too much. Mm-hmm. Jerry DiPoto and I had a great conversation. He's the president of baseball operations for the Seattle Mariners. He's former player, by the way, former big league player. He told his analytical department, I want you to make a list of 10 things you want all of our players to work on. Every week, we will only introduce them to 2 of those things. Only 2. We don't want them overthinking. It's athletics. We've got to let their bodies lean on their muscle memory because they're the greatest athletes in their sport. So I think Jordan Walker should be left alone. I hate saying that. Sounds so barbaric. Just leave him alone and see what happens, because his natural talent is as high as anyone in the organization.
Yeah, be a goldfish. Ted Lasso used to say, be a goldfish, 10-second memory. Be a goldfish out there.
Exactly.
All right, Greg, despite the organization giving tons of opportunity this season, I'm really struggling to think there's any Cardinal on the hot seat where 2026 is their do-or-die season. Do you think everyone is safe?
I don't know. I don't know if I would use the word safe. I do think based on age, based on years in how close you are to free agency, there are. If O'Brien has a terrific year as a reliever, will he get dealt at the deadline? Yeah. If guys are struggling, I don't know if that means they're going to be DFA'd. I don't think that's the goal here for the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are now at a point where they are truly assessing and putting together a core. I don't look at Ali Marmol as someone on the hot seat going into this season. If Chaim Bloom had the opportunity to make the change last year as he took over as president of baseball operations, I think he's got a long leash to be the manager there. They get along great. They got terrific chemistry. So I don't think there is anyone, and this is a wonderful thing. I don't think anyone should be entering the big leagues looking over their shoulder. Now, with that said, there's a lot of depth on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals all of a sudden. And if guys are competing for a spot in that rotation, let the best man win. And I think open competition is going to be what this organization is built on, not on if you fail, you're out.
Speaking of that pitching depth, we're going to have a list later in the show of the Cardinal pitchers that most intrigue us this spring. Who is it for you in Cardinal camp? What pitcher?
Quinn Matthews. 2 years ago, best pitcher in the minor leagues. Dealt with shoulder issues, command issues, which was very odd. I just think you can't teach how herky-jerky, funky he is. And when he's right, you've got a guy that you can dream on to go into a rotation and be a legit number 3. I think he has maybe the highest upside of all the Cardinal pitchers in the organization. I know he had a hard time with his command, but if you actually listen to the things he said at the winter warm-up and other articles that have been written, he's very hard on himself. And his teammates have actually leaned into that to say, Quinn, you got to stop saying it. You suck all the time. right? Confidence is key, bro. His natural talent is off the charts. I'm looking at him because I think he could legitimately break camp if he has a good spring. And that would be great for the Cardinals if he did. And then we talked about this guy last, Gerangelo Sangia. The fact that they've already brought him in, they want him pitching for both sides. The Mariners were going to have him stop throwing from the left side, which is mind-boggling to me. I can't wait to see how he performs in the minors. And I think will dominate in the minors. Gerangelo Sangia, Quinn Matthews, those are the two guys I'm watching.
All right, it can be a Cardinal or another player in baseball. Who is somebody nobody's really talking about but is on your list to pop off this spring?
I'm going to keep it with the Cardinals. I talked to Dan Plesac, who loves relievers. I go, there's one guy you got to follow because Dan does this segment on our show called Dan's Hand, his 5 favorite relievers in baseball. I think Matt Swanson's about to be one of the most dominant setup guys in baseball. I thought he was excellent last year, didn't even throw 40 games in the big leagues. The K per 9, don't even look at it. It's still impressive. It's a little over 10, but everything has dead bowling ball sink coming out of the 6'5", 235 pounder. This dude is dominant. I think he could be an all-star this year as a setup guy. So Matt Swanson, to me, is about to break out in a big way. Mid-20s, huge right-hander. I'm a huge Matt Swanson guy.
Greg, I probably think a little bit too much about Ivan Herrera, but I think because of his injury history, he'd be better off playing a position other than catcher. Your thoughts?
Well, look, it's one of the positions of depth that the organization has, and I really think there are so many good teams that are looking for catching that they're going to try to see if they can get him there and brand him as a catcher, because now that is a chip that Chaim Bloom is going to try to toe the line of being competitive, playing for a wild card spot, and also obtaining the most value in terms of prospects as possible. Do I think Ivan Herrera, if he shows he's healthy and can somehow manage the running game behind the plate while still hitting 290 and he has 15 home runs at the deadline, I would be shocked if he got traded at all this year. Would I be shocked if he got traded? So it's a position of depth, and I think they're going to try to prove to the sport that Ivan Herrera, the only Cardinal in the top 100 players right now, by the way, for 2026, is actually a catcher, therefore has the most value if they move him.
All right, I want to jump away from the Cardinals. There have been a ton of bad contracts in baseball. Anthony Rendon is everybody's go-to as of late. But should we start saying Chris Bryant's deal with the Rockies is the worst ever, the most wasted money ever?
It's bad, but I mean, the Steven Strasburg contract's pretty bad too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but at least he got you a world championship, but because he literally did not perform throughout the life of it, it crippled the entire organization. That's why you're seeing the complete rebuild that they're doing right now. Congratulations, Miles Michaelis, for being the new Steven Strasburg. He's going to go there and be the ace of that team. But that's a bad one. Josh Hamilton was a terrible one with the Angels. You can't overlook 5 years, $125 million, and it was a complete debacle. But yeah, Chris Bryant, his contract was symbolic of one of the bottom-feeding organizations showing the sport that we're going to try to be competitive. That we have this world champion from the 2016 Cubs, and all the guys are going to look up to him, and he's going to find it again. The fact that he just can't stay on the field, and I've had many conversations with Chris during my time in spring training, and I feel bad for the guy because I do genuinely believe he wanted to be that symbolic star that helped turn things around for the Colorado Rockies. It has not happened. And when that takes place, when your highest paid player is your least productive in your entire organization, that sets you back years. And that's what's happening right now in Colorado.
Greg, 3 guys go down in 3 days with hamate injuries. Which team should be most concerned? The Mets with Francisco Lindor, the Diamondbacks with Corbin Carroll, or the Orioles with Jackson Holliday?
I think it's the Mets. Francisco Lindor, if you look at the games that the Mets win in 2025, he gets 1 or 2 hits. When the Mets lose, he goes over. He is the straw that stirs the drink. When they put him back in the leadoff spot, he didn't just become one of the best Mets on the team. He became one of the best players on the team. He has to be good. And the expectations are different in New York this year compared to what they are in Arizona, compared to what even in Baltimore. And I love the Chris Bassett signing, by the way, and I think they're trying. They're really making a concerted effort in a very difficult division to be good and be a playoff team. But the expectations and the money and the investment in the New York Mets makes that injury and the drama surrounding that guy and the highest paid player in baseball, Juan Soto, I just think that it amplifies the stress level. And it's already a bad start for the New York Mets if Francisco Lindor isn't 100% and playing like a superstar.
Hey, speaking of trying, how happy are you for Paul Skeens that the Pirates look like they're actually trying?
You know what? Absolutely happy, not just for him, but for all the fans there in Pittsburgh. Go to watch the team play now, not just on Paul Skeens Day, but they've got starting pitching depth now that a lot of teams would clamor for. They've got a lineup that I think, if you're a starting pitcher, you have to pay attention to Ryan O'Hearn if Marcell Ozuna is on the on-deck circle, right? I said this before. There are 3 X factors on the Pittsburgh Pirates. They need 2 of the 3 to find it. Number 1 is Nick Gonzalez. He's going to have to play a position. He's a former college batting champion. This kid is a stud, and a first-round pick has to figure it out. Henry Davis, former number 1 overall pick out of Louisville. He has been a bust as a number 1 overall pick. And the third, O'Neal Cruz. Since he's been moved to center field, his offensive production has plummeted. He's nowhere near the same player. He doesn't look happy playing baseball. And I think 2 of those 3 guys have to figure it out for all of these other moves to even make sense. So I love the moves, but those 3 immensely talented players that you've invested in have to come through for the Pirates.
Greg, finally, for people that are big baseball fans and want to know what's going on with every team, this is the time of year to be tuned into MLB Tonight and MLB Network every day, right?
Baseball is back, wall-to-wall coverage of spring training. I'm going to be leaving February 22nd. And it is going to be, because of the World Baseball Classic, we're condensing everything into about 8 days. So you're going to see everything you want to know. Everything you want to know about your favorite team, and we're jamming it into a super week. So I leave February 22nd. I look forward to it. I'll be all throughout the state of Arizona. My cohort is Yonder Alonso for all of our camps, so we're going to have a blast, man. MLB Network during spring training it's special content you got to watch.
Go Lindenwood Lions.
Come on, man. Let's go get it at home. At home.
Yep.
I'll be cheering them on. Jadis Jones have a big game. I'm going to throw it out there. 22 points, 17 boards for Jadis Jones.
Big. I love that. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
That's the great Greg Amsinger. We're live with him every week, and he is sponsored by St. Luke's. Top-notch doctors in everything from heart health, orthopedics, and more. Visit stlukes-stl.com today. Coming up, we have the list and the pitchers that we're most intrigued by in spring training. It's coming your way on Matrix Midwest. Spring training workouts are underway as pitchers and catchers reported earlier this week in Jupiter for the Cardinals. There's a lot of players to be excited about this spring, particularly with pitchers, because the Cardinals acquired a bunch of them during the offseason. And with that, we give you our top 3 pitchers that we are most excited to see this spring. And Andrew, I'll go with my number 3, and that's Kyle Leahy. He was brilliant last year in relief, pitching to a 3.07 ERA in 88 innings and striking out 80. He started the season finale in Chicago and faced the minimum in his 3 shutout innings of work. Leahy is always profiled as a starter because of his 6-pitch arsenal, and he was pretty effective in that role all the way through Double-A. I'm intrigued to see what he can do this spring as a starter as he tries to earn a spot in the rotation. He's a guy that was terrific as a reliever. Can he get it back and be an effective starting pitcher?
Yeah, the beauty of it is you don't really have to force him to be a starter and maybe rush him into a role if he's not ready for that just yet because of everybody that you acquired this offseason. Kyle Leahy, though, you're right, is the type of pitcher that has 4 really good pitches that he could lean on every single game, and then he can mix in those other 2 to make it a 6-pitch arsenal. That's what makes him so unique. It's what I think actually makes him a great long reliever for the Cardinals. You get a guy that can't go past 4 innings, and you say, hey, Leahy, how about you give me 3 innings so that I can get to the back end of our bullpen?
The thing is, he did give innings in the minors. I don't know why the Cardinals decided to move him to the bullpen, but he's a guy that's thrown 125, 135 innings at the minor league level. It'll be interesting to see where he winds up because, like you say, his capabilities certainly profiled to be a middle reliever that can give you multiple innings, which is a valuable commodity in baseball these days. but he could also start for you. The thing is, Cardinals, like you said, have acquired a lot of starting pitching over the course of the last year or so.
I'm going to start with a weird one, Randy. I really want to see Ryan Fernandez again.
That is weird.
I know a lot of people at home just cringed, but hear me out. When we were first introduced to him, the Cardinals had one of the best 7, 8, 9 inning tandems. They had him, Kittredge, Helsley, right? He was awesome 2 years ago. Everybody struggles in their career, and he did that mightily in 2025. But that 2024 season, a 3.51 ERA, had over 66 innings pitched. Sign me up for that again. The Redbirds have spots to fill in this bullpen. Who knows if Matt Swanson, Gordon Graceffo, JoJo Romero, Riley O'Brien will all look the same, and that's why I'm all in on the Ryan Fernandez bounce-back year.
Can't hurt. He's absolutely worth a look, and he used his stuff a couple of years ago, and I think things kind of spun out of control for him last year.
Totally.
Remember, he had a couple of bad outings early. I believe he lost his confidence and never was able to regain it. If he can get off to a good start, he's very capable of being that guy he was 2 years ago.
I'm pretty sure he ended last season with like an 11 ERA.
Yeah, not
it was
great.
really bad for him.
Yeah. All right, my number 2 is Quinn Matthews. After zooming through the Cardinal system, playing for all 4 minor league affiliates in 2024 and striking out 202 hitters, Matthews shined in spring training last year. We tend to forget that he was brilliant in only 2 games. He didn't allow a run and struck out 9 in his 6 innings of work last spring. Then he was beset by back and shoulder injuries, but he's apparently healthy now, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table this spring. And the Cardinals haven't given up on him. It's interesting to talk to Rob Cerfolio and some of the other people in the minor league system about how last year, number one, he had the back injury coming out of spring training. Then he had the shoulder injury. Might have never really rebounded from those, but he's a guy that he showed a couple of years ago, has tremendous ability. He was a great pitcher at Stanford. He's a smart guy, great stuff. And I still think, man, you look at that motion, and we talked about it last year, the similarities to Chris Sale are eerie, and hopefully Matthews can find his way this year and quit walking guys.
Well, you mentioned the word brilliant, and then you brought up Stanford. This guy's really smart, and he does a lot of preparation to get his body ready. Plus, this goes back to a point that we made on the previous show about who could be a future Hall of Famer someday when you don't let a guy go deep. Quinn Matthews has a lot of experience going deep into baseball games, pitching 120, 130 pitches, even at Stanford, and he was successful doing so. He can be that arm in your rotation that you can trust to go 10 or 20 more pitches than, say, the next guy and preserve your bullpen.
One time in college, in the College World Series, he threw 156 pitches in a game for the Cardinals. It's a lot, even for a major leaguer.
Really?
Yeah, so they let him go, and hopefully the Cardinals will trust him to do that as well. I like that. I like him a lot.
You averaged 156 in Little League, though.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
And that's why you're sitting here and he's still pitching, getting Tommy John at the age of 12.
Yep.
All right, my number 2. Here's a first-round pick we tend to forget. Cooper Zerpe. Why? Well, we've hardly gotten to see him due to injury. After going 22nd overall in the 2022 draft, he missed time during the 2023 season due to an elbow injury that required surgery. After being with Springfield in 2024, he was shut down for the season in early July. Why? Well, because of elbow injury. And then again in 2025, he needed Tommy John, not even a month into the season. We haven't gotten to see anything Zerpe can do, and hopefully now is the time that all changes. Here's what we do know about Zerpe. He was the 2022 National Pitcher of the Year wearing an Oregon State Beaver uniform, had an 11-2 win-loss record, 2.53 ERA, 161 strikeouts. This is a guy that, when healthy, completely dominates. That's why he went in the first round, so I'm excited to see a healthy Cooper Zerpe for once.
I don't know why organizations, once guys start having chronic elbow issues, just give them the Tommy John. Let's get it over with and get them back a little bit sooner. They've wasted 3 years of this guy's career by saying, oh yeah, we'll just let him rehab. It never works that way. The guy always has to have Tommy John surgery. But as you noted, in college, he showed great stuff. Not only the production, but the stuff was there for Cooper Zerpe, and he has a chance still to be a really successful major league pitcher.
He showed great stuff in spring training, and with the Cardinals in the system. This is somebody that's nasty, and I want to see him become a starter with this team.
All right, Andrew, my number 1 is Tink Hence, the former top 100 prospect. He's never been healthy, and now's the time. He supposedly has great stuff. We've seen it before. We don't know if he has the stamina to be a starter or if he profiles more as a high leverage reliever. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He threw just 21 innings last year because of a rib cage strain and a shoulder inflammation. He's never thrown 100 innings in any of his 5 pro seasons, but now's the time for us to see the 23-year-old get healthy and show us what he's got. He's got a great changeup. He might be a guy that winds up being a 9th inning closer at some point in his career.
I feel like we've been waiting for him for like 10 years.
It's 5.
You're right. Yeah, just get here, show us what you can do. He's got like that Devontae Smith stature, very skinny, but he can throw the living stew out of the baseball. He's got a lot of speed, good velo, good stuff. He's a guy that if you can keep him healthy, yes, no doubt he should be a part of this major league rotation.
Back in the day, the Red Sox had a pitcher named Oil Can Boyd, and he has that same build as Oil Can, who was good for a couple of years. Injuries kind of caught up to him, but hopefully Tink Hence will have a career similar to Oil Can Boyd or Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's not about how strong you are, how big your biceps are when you're a pitcher. It's all about torque, and it's all about just that overall momentum from when you start your windup to when you release the baseball.
Absolutely.
Okay, my number 1. I think we all know what Michael McGreevy, Matthew Liberatore, Andre Palante offer this starting staff. I think we know what Dustin May is by now, too. What I'm so curious about, though, is did the Cardinals get it right when they drafted Liam Doyle? And it's very early to put that type of pressure on, but that's why he's my most excited to see this spring. When you're the 5th overall pick in the MLB draft, you have my attention, and you better be worth it. A lot of pressure rides on that, but he is still a young kid from Tennessee, and he is ready for it because he stands tall like the Mad Hungarian. He plays with so much passion, and I just want to see what that looks like in a Cardinal uniform. Prior to the draft, he was 10-4 with a 3.2 ERA with 164 strikeouts. SEC Baseball Pitcher of the Year at Tennessee. He was Keith Law's number 1 pitching prospect, too. That means over Cade Anderson and the young kid that went to Anaheim. When I look at the spring, I want to get to know a player. I know that's the same as you. I want to get to know Senja. I want to get to know the former Red Sox arms, but not as much as I want to get to know Liam Doyle.
Liam Doyle has been compared from a demeanor standpoint. You mentioned Al Hrabosky, a combination of Al Hrabosky and Max Scherzer, who are both intensely competitive and kind of nutty. He's kind of got a pro wrestler vibe, which is a lot of fun if he shows that at the major league level. Tony Vitello liked that at Tennessee. It might not go over as well at the major league level, but the stuff is going to play, and he definitely has the ability to be great quickly because of what he did in college, pitching for a great program against great hitters in the SEC. I'm really excited about seeing Liam Doyle, too.
If he wins, it'll play. If not, it might become a joke. And that's the line that you just kind of walk.
Got to be good, right?
Right.
Coming up, let's build a parlay here in the fight. We're going to have some risky business coming your way here on Matrix Midwest. Hey, we're headed towards the spring, and I want you to be hale and hearty and healthy for the spring. And if your joints aren't feeling great, and you know, maybe you're my age or a little older, a little younger, and you know that you have to get knee or hip replacements, you need to get in touch with my friends at St. Luke's. Why? Because St. Luke's has state-of-the-art equipment, and their doctors are expert in using that equipment to make sure that you have a smooth transition from your old hips and knees to the new hips and knees that they're going to put in for you. They are the best in the business at knee and hip replacement. As a matter of fact, if you get it done now, you can be back out on the golf course by golf season. Yep, about 8 weeks to get those knees or hips replaced. And I'm telling you, at some point right now, at our ages and with the way we treat our bodies, we're all going to need some sort of a replacement. Well, you can get in touch with my friends at St. Luke's, and they can help you out. Their orthopedic people are the best. Their rehab, either in or outpatient, is fantastic. You'll love the people. The bedside manner is wonderful. And like I said, you'll love the rehab people as well. Call St. Luke's if you are thinking about joint replacement. 314-205-6060, or you can find them on the web at stlukes-stl.com. We're going to build a parlay here, and Andrew, as you know, I am all in on USA Curling, men's
red hot.
and women's. They're playing great, and especially the sweepers. The sweepers are doing a great job. So we've got Sweden. Sweden thinks they're great, not really. USA women's curling, it's kind of like USA women's hockey right now. They're going to dominate. I'm going to take them on the money line at plus 160. USA.
And USA women bring out the brooms for a sweep.
Oh,
the
there we
Swedes
go.
are a
Yeah.
little sweepy going into this matchup.
Yeah.
Night. All right, I'm going to go to Pebble Beach for mine, Randy.
Okay.
Because I'm picking the tournament winner, and that man is Tommy Fleetwood. He has the third best odds to win. Look at how big of a favorite Scheffler is
That's pretty big.
this week. But you have good iron game from Tommy Fleetwood. He's pretty tidy in his short game as well on the green. That plays well at Pebble Beach, so I'm taking that live right now.
I kind of like this parlay. I think this is fun.
We're going risque for the parlay. And this is going to be a huge payout. This is $5,230 if we put $100 on it.
I like it a lot. So there you have it. That is a little risky business, and that is our parlay here in the fight. 52-30. Coming up, take it or leave it, and story time with Uncle Randy. Stick around. It's time for Take It or Leave It. And after quarterbacking the Seahawks to the Super Bowl championship on Sunday, Seattle quarterback Sam Darnold was asked what his message is for Jets fans of the team that drafted him third overall. He said, quote, "I always look at myself and feel like I could have done a lot more for that franchise," which of course is impossible. You can't do more for the Jets if their front office isn't willing to help themselves and their ownership is terrible. But take it or leave it, you appreciate Darnold even more now after that comment.
Yeah, I think so. I actually appreciate Darnold a lot because he rode the teacups at Disney with Kenneth Walker.
That was pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, I just appreciate Darnold as a guy. I think he was deserving of winning this Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
And I'm all for that. I
Yeah,
can't
me
believe
too.
he was the first out of that quarterback class, though, to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I still will be in disbelief over that.
Me too.
All right, Randy, an old friend from St. Louis has signed a free agent contract. And that is Miles Michaelis. He's going to the Nationals. Hey, he made all but 10 starts in his career with the Redbirds. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, now he is in a rotation that features starters after trading Mackenzie Gore, Jake Irvin, Foster Griffin, Cade Cavalli, and Brad Lord. So
Oh, my
take it or
Lord.
leave it. Michaelis will be the ace of the Nationals rotation.
Yeah, no, not when you have the Lord on your side.
That is true. Come Lord Jesus. That's what Nationals fans are saying right
Yeah.
now. I'm going to take it only because I think he's a little bit better right now than Jake Irvin, and I would think he's the ace.
He might give him 180 innings. Yeah, that might be the ace there.
Right, yeah.
Yikes.
All you have to do
Yeah.
is stay in the rotation.
All right, that's Tioli. Now it's time for story time with Uncle Randy. Andrew's going to spin the wheel for a decade from my sports fandom, and then we'll pick a sport, and I'll come up with a story for you. And here we go. Our decade is going to be the 1970s. Young Randy. Okay, we'll see how my memory is here. Let's see if we can come up with
I'm sure it's
a
pretty
good
sharp.
sport.
If anybody watched
It's
the
going
fight.
to be 1970
Baseball. We're in green.
baseball.
There it
All right,
is.
1970s baseball. Have I already told you about We Love Harabaski Day?
You have.
Okay, so we've already done that. So I've got
Still
another
a great
one
day
for
in
you.
history.
So 1978, cloudy, cold April day in St. Louis, and the Philadelphia Phillies are in town. And Bob Forsch starts for the Cardinals on this Sunday afternoon, and Bob Forsch throws his first no-hitter, the first no-hitter for the Cardinals since Bob Gibson had thrown one against the Pirates in Pittsburgh in 1971. Interesting thing about this one, though, Ken Reitz was a supremely gifted defensive third baseman, and Reitz made what was called by the official score an error. A lot of people thought it was a hit, but as it turned out, the error allowed Bob Forsch to throw the first of his two no-hitters against Philadelphia on that April Sunday afternoon, 1978. There's Forschy right there, number 31, Ken Reitz. There he got him for the final out. And Bob Forsch has his first no-hitter. And man, it was just a miserable, hazy, rainy day, but this made it all worth it for Forschy. He gets his first no-hitter. He was a great, underrated pitcher in Cardinal history.
Man, that's got to be so much pressure, too, being one of the 8, backing up a pitcher,
Oh,
going for a no-hitter, and being the guy that could blow it. And
Yeah.
you don't ever want to feel that way. And I think a lot of players do their job more than they don't in those cases.
Right.
But man, like the Austin Jackson over the shoulder, you know, those are the moments where you're like, how? This is when you know he's going to get the no-hitter. man, good for Forshee in this case.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good defensive infield, too. Reitz, Gary Templeton was solid defensively. Mike Tyson, I think, was at second at the time. And obviously, you saw Keith Hernandez, best defensive first baseman ever in the history of the game. So he had no problems, Forsh, who was not a strikeout pitcher. He was a pitch-to-contact guy, but had no problems getting ground balls for that infield. The only issue that he would ever run into is sometimes Tempe. Tempe had a rocket. And Tempe would taunt runners, and he'd just kind of hang on to the ball when he knew he could get him by like a half step.
Mason Wynn.
Yeah, exactly. And the Cardinals had to have Mason Wynn stop doing that.
You know, it's funny. All of the pitchers that you look back at that have no hitters or perfect games, they aren't really swing and miss guys.
No,
They're
right.
all like just normal guys that you would think are 4 or 5s in your rotation.
Right.
Typically, at least today.
Yeah.
Dallas Braden comes to mind.
And
Matt Cain.
There you go. Yeah. And Forshee wound up throwing another one against Montreal later in 1983. All right, time for this date in sports history. Back in 1999, the San Diego Padres signed 37-year-old country music singer Garth Brooks, and they invited him to spring training as a non-roster player, and they let him play in spring training games. He wore number 77. He had his moments. That was not Garth Brooks, by the way. This is Garth Brooks, though. Look at that, a little grounder over to third, and he is safe.
Atta boy.
Yeah. So Brooksy got the opportunity. Garth Brooksy, who is, by the way, there he is talking to the media. He was here in town a couple of weeks ago for the Blues Hall of Fame induction. To good friends with Kelly Chase, and by all accounts, just a great guy and had a great time with the Padres back in 1999.
I was going to say, did he show up in boots?
We'll see. I think he did.
I don't think he ever complained, though.
Yeah. He's got friends in low places.
Yeah. And he ruined a black tie affair.
Places where the whiskey drowns and the
Oh, that's Ryan Franklin pitching to him. How about that? So there you go. This date in sports history. Garth
about
Brooks
that
was
song, too.
a major leaguer. How about that?
Great karaoke song.
Yeah. We are so excited to partner with the Cardinals again in 2026. Again, we've got our home plate package. We're going to have Cardinal baseball during the spring, 9 spring training games. We're going to have regular season games. We're also going to have Memphis and Springfield and a condensed version of almost every Cardinal game, a 1-hour condensed version at noon and 4 after every Cardinal game the next day.
How many times are you searching the TV guide and thinking, man, there's just nothing on to
Yep.
watch? The Cardinals are giving you things to watch now, and I love that for this team.
Yeah, and we'll have a lot more Cardinal programming. And, of course, you can tell your friends where you found us with The Fight with Carricker and Company on Matrix Midwest. The Matrix Midwest app and the KMOV app is where we are. Plus, you can find us on TV every day at 5 and 10, and then replayed at 7 o'clock every morning. Don't forget to, if you don't have it yet, get that antenna, and you'll be able to watch us. Plus, don't forget Friday mornings at 2 a.m. That's always a fun one.
I'm up feeding my daughter.
That's the party fight. And then on our new streaming channel, 4 On, at 7 o'clock every night on 4 On. So we got a lot of ways to get the fight into you so that you can consume our content.
Yeah, and we hope you love the show.
Yep. Hey, use our podcast to listen in your car as well. And play the fight with us. Record Tuesdays at noon, and you can see if you can beat me in the fight. For Andrew and our superb director, Tyler Klaus, I'm Randy Carricker. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next time in the fight. Have a great day, everybody.